Every multi-agent setup dies the same way. You spin up 5 agents, they all talk at once, and the channel turns into noise. Today, a team shipped the missing piece, a dispatcher that decides who speaks, and it ran a 220-task job for $363 that costs $3,100 almost everywhere else. This is Mainframe, your daily guide through the AI chaos, what actually happened, who is winning, and how to take yourself to the next level. It is Friday, July 24th, 2026. I am Nova.
And I am Dex. On today's Mainframe, Off-Loop's dispatcher model, the traffic cop that finally makes a team of agents work, and the pattern you can steal today. OpenAI put voice on the desktop so you can direct a whole fleet of coding agents hands-free. The builder stakes. Opus 5 appears to be rolling out, unconfirmed, and Opus 4.7 fast mode gets retired today. What changes for your setup? And how to ship a real full-stack app straight out of ChatGPT this weekend. No server, no infra.
Let's get into it.
One honesty note before we go, the voices you are hearing are AI, the reporting, the pics, and the opinions are human-made. Now the board.
One number frames the whole show. Artificial analysis put its intelligence versus cost chart on billboards this week, and it is blunt. Fable 5 leads the intelligence index at 60, but averages $2.75 per task. Grok 4.5 scores 54 and costs 31 cents, about 9 times cheaper, sitting right on the efficiency frontier. Read through for your bill. The smartest model and the cheapest capable model are now different models, and today's entire show is about spending the cheap one on the grunt work, which is exactly today's sponsor, Outpace at outpace.media. Picture what we just described. A fleet of AI agents that actually needs a driver. Outpace is a 30-year operator, someone who built real businesses in real estate, hospitality, food, even a theater, now aiming a whole team of AI agents at one client's project at a time. Strategy to ship. It is not a freelancer and not a faceless agency. It is a system. The agents do the work, one senior operator steers the fleet, and you own the code and the keys at the end. When frontier capability changes hands every Sunday, you want someone driving. Book a 30-minute call at outpace.media. That is outpace.media. The Wire, Story 1, and you can use this in the next 5 minutes. OpenAI put ChatGPT Voice on the desktop app yesterday. macOS and Windows, global, for Plus, Pro, Business, Edu, and Enterprise. It runs on GPT Live, their full duplex voice model, so it listens and talks at the same time, no rigid turn-taking. The real unlock is not chat, it is control. You can start, check, and steer multiple agents running in ChatGPT Work or Codex by voice.
So you kick off a long coding job and just talk to it while it runs.
Right. Move. Install the update, hand Codex a real task, then walk away from the keyboard and drive it by voice. You are supervising a team, not typing at one model. Story 2. The Claude stakes. Multiple trusted voices, Kim Anismus, Min Choi, and Theo, all report that Opus 5 appears to be rolling out across providers, with some Opus 4.8 requests already routing to a newer model. Market clearly. Anthropic has confirmed nothing. There is no model card, and Polymarket had it around 22% for today. Meanwhile, something that is confirmed, Fast mode for Opus 4.7 retires today. Migrate to Opus 4.8 fast mode. Move. Run your hardest eval prompt now and log the result. So the day Opus 5 is official, you already know whether it is worth switching.
And if you are on Opus 4.7 fast mode, do the migration today so nothing breaks under you.
Story 3. The media shelf refilled. Microsoft shipped 2 models into public preview. MAI Image 2.5 Pro, their highest fidelity image model, and MAI Voice 2 Flash, twice as fast as the last version, 32% cheaper, at $15 per million characters. And Black Forest Labs previewed Flux 3, one model that does image, video, audio, and even action prediction for robotics. Move. If you ship anything with generated voice, price, MA, a voice to flash against your current text-to-speech bill this week. Tool Lab. 2 picks, and neither is a random repo. Pick one is a technique, and it is the engine under our lead story. Call it the dispatcher pattern. Credit to Offloop, surfaced by Testing Catalog and Kimonismus, and built by the team behind Manus. Here is the idea. Most multi-agent systems fail because every agent acts whenever it wants. Offloop added a tiny, cheap router model, they call it D1, whose only job at every step is to decide which agent moves next, when to keep going, when to stop, and when to pull in a human. In their overnight run, 2 tasks got stuck, and D1 escalated both to a person at 2 in the morning instead of grinding on them and burning money.
How does a solo builder copy that without their platform?
In Claude code, define one subagent as the dispatcher. It never does the work. It reads the shared task state and picks the next agent, or it stops, or it flags you. Your worker subagents run on a cheap model and only act when the dispatcher calls them. That one traffic cop role is the difference between a team and a mob. And the receipts, their 220-task benchmark run, cost $363, where the same run on Claude Code cost $3,100, 84.9% on GDPVol, at about a fifth the cost of the systems it tested against. Pick 2, a hidden gem for the local crowd. Atomic Agent from Atomic Bot. -AI, open source, MIT licensed. It is a local first agent that runs entirely on your machine. Llama.cpp for inference, MCP to connect tools, a SQLite database for persistent memory, and time travel file history, where every file it touches is snapshotted before and after so you can diff or restore with one click. No token bill because the model is yours. First step, clone it, point it at a local model through Llama server, hand it a small repo task, and let the snapshot history be your undo button. Credit AtomicBot-AI. Use cases. 3 moves with tools already in your hands. 1. Ship a real app out of ChatGPT this weekend. Simon Willison dug into how ChatGPT Sites actually works. In work mode, it builds and deploys full-stack apps on Cloudflare's Workers runtime, with a SQLite database for real data and object storage for file uploads, and it hands you a shareable link. Recipe. Give it a small CRUD app spec, let it deploy, share the URL. The catch, from Simon: no long-running server, no WebSockets, no outside Postgres, no scheduled jobs, so keep it to interactive front ends with light persistence.
2.
Voice, steer a background agent. Kick off a long codex or Claude job, then use the new desktop voice to check and redirect it while you do something else. Pair it with Andrej Karpathy's ramble trick. Instead of typing 2 tidy sentences, talk for 2 minutes of messy stream of consciousness and let the agent take it from there. You hand the model far more context by speaking than you ever would by typing. 3, and this is the pro move. When a task is too important to get wrong, do not trust one agent's answer. This week, Kimonismus walked through a researcher's trail on 6 hard open math problems, where the recipe was forbid shortcuts, preserve several incompatible approaches at once, and run independent agents to attack every candidate answer. Steal the shape for ordinary work. On your highest stakes output, spin up a second and third agent whose only job is to break the first one's answer before you ship it.
Quick word from SearchViz, also an Outpace media product, at searchviz.outpace.media. Every image, voice, and app model we covered today ships into a world where the new front page is the AI answer. When a buyer asks Claude, ChatGPT, or Perplexity for the best tool in your category, the model names you or it names your competitor, and if it does not name you, you do not exist to that buyer. SearchViz tracks whether the answer engines cite your brand across every engine, tells you why, and gives you the exact move to win the citation. Mainframe tells you what shipped. SearchViz makes sure the models know what you shipped. Check where you stand and start free at searchvis.outpace.media. Be the answer.
One idea to carry into your week. Simon Willison said something that should change how you build. Loops were a short-lived patch for models that could not keep working until they hit a goal. Fable 5 and GPT 5.6 can now just do that, unassisted. Sit with that. A lot of the scaffolding builders hand-wrote over the last year, the retry wrappers, the babysitting loops, the keep-going plumbing, has a half-life. The model is quietly absorbing it.
So, which scaffolding survives?
The coordination layer. Notice the shape of today. The model got better at running itself, and every real story was about running a team, the dispatcher deciding who speaks, voice steering a fleet, agents attacking each other's answers. Single-agent persistence is becoming free. Multi-agent coordination and verification, who drives, who checks, who escalates, is still hard, and it is the part you own. So here is what I would actually do. Audit your harness this week. Delete the single-agent loop code the new models just made redundant and move that time into the dispatcher and verification layer. Build the part that compounds, not the part that is about to evaporate. Level up this week. Steal the dispatcher pattern. Add one traffic cop sub-agent in Claude code that decides who acts next and when to escalate to you. 10 minutes, and your agents stop shouting over each other.
And if you want every story, number, and link from today in your inbox tomorrow morning, subscribe to the free Mainframe newsletter.
That is the show. Spend the cheap model on the grunt work, own the layer that drives the team, and we will see you tomorrow.